Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, that is QPOL. My name is Anjali Mishra. Students, this video is going to be all about things which are there in chapter 2 of class 10th science, which is about acids, bases and salts. So आइए बच्चों बात करते हैं things regarding acids, bases and salts. So the first thing that has been explained over here is how we can differentiate between acids and bases. यानी कि हम learn करने वाले हैं that acids and bases को differentiate कैसे किया जा सकता है. So for acids, the statement says that acids are those substances which release hydrogen ions when dissolved in water. यानी कि एसिड्स वो सब्सटेंसेस या वो मटेरियल होने वाले हैं जो जब भी वाटर में घुलेंगे या डिसॉल्व होंगे, सो दे विल बी रिलीजिंग हाइड्रोजन आयंस यानी कि H+ आयंस. देन it is being said that since hydrogen ions can't exist alone, hydrogen ions alone exist नहीं कर सकते हैं, therefore hydrogen ions combined with water molecule whose molecular formula is H2O, so that they can form hydronium ion. So water has a molecular formula of H2O. Hydrogen ion means H+. So when both the things will combine together, we'll get hydronium ion, that is H3O with a plus sign. So this H3O with a plus sign indicates that okay, this is an hydronium ion. Moving on, let's talk about some examples of acids. So students, here in the example section they have said that acids can be hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. Hydrochloric acid and nitric acid, students, like ऐसे दो acids है जिनका chemistry में बहुत सारे uses होते हैं. Let's just say in order to perform different experiments in the laboratories या फिर to study the nature of hydrogen gas, हम hydrochloric acid और nitric acid का use करते हैं. Moving on, आइए बात करते हैं about bases. So bases are being defined by saying that these are going to be those substances which releases hydroxyl ion when get dissolved in water. So acids क्या कर रहे थे? They were releasing hydrogen ion, that is H+ ion. Here when substances will get dissolved in water, they will release hydroxyl ion, that is OH with a negative sign ions. So we say that bases that are soluble in water are called as alkalis. Example could be sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. So students, जो main difference रहेगा whenever you people have to answer कि acids and bases में how they are different from each other, we can say that acids are the ones which when dissolved in water is going to release hydrogen ion, while talking about bases, they are the ones which will release hydroxyl ion when dissolved in water. So that's how you people can easily differentiate acids as well as bases. Moving on to the next slide, it's like they have represented that what type of ions are formed when these acids and bases are dissolved in water. Students, इस पर्टिकुलर डायग्राम को लर्न करने से पहले हमें ये क्लियर होना चाहिए दैट आयंस होते क्या हैं. सो बेसिकली ions are like atoms which are going to carry either the positive charge or the negative charge depending on the nature, that whether they are going to gain electron or they are going to lose electron. So अगर हम बात करें सोडियम एटम की, sodium has like 11 electrons in total. So जब भी will arrange these electrons in shells, it would be like 2, 8, 1. So this shows that there is just one electron in the outermost shell of sodium atom. Therefore, अगर sodium has to become a stable atom, it either has to lose that one electron which is there in its outermost shell, या फिर it has to gain 7 extra electrons. अब आप ही बताइए students that एक electron को lose करना easy है या फिर किसी भी neighbor atom के 7 electrons को gain करना. So हम कहेंगे that since हमें इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लूज करना ज़्यादा इजी लगता है, यहाँ पर सोडियम एटम इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को लूज करेगा और एक स्टेबल एटम बनेगा. सो सून सोडियम एटम इलेक्ट्रॉन को लूज करेगा. हमें पहले से पता है दैट एवरी एटम हैज़ गॉट सेम नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन्स एज वेल एज इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, बट यहाँ पर सून सोडियम एटम वो इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करेगा. अब इस पर्टिकुलर सोडियम एटम में there will be more number of positive charge and less number of negative charge. कितना less? Just one less. Therefore, sodium after losing one electron will acquire 1 plus charge. On the other hand, if we talk about chlorine, chlorine क्या करता है? It has got 17 electrons. So if we have to arrange these 17 electrons in different shells, it is going to be like 2, 8, 7. Therefore, again, in order to attain stability, this chlorine has to do two things. It either has to gain an extra electron so that it will attain stability, or else it will lose all the 7 electrons so that it will have like 2 electrons in the first shell and around 8 in the outermost shell. So, इसके बाद क्या होगा कि since chlorine feels that gaining 1 electron is actually easy rather than losing 7 electrons because that will require huge amount of energy. So हम क्या कहेंगे that since chlorine एक extra electron gain करता है, so now since it has gained one such electron or one such particle that was having negative charge, chlorine will now acquire a negative charge on it because पहले तो there were equal number of electrons and protons, but now since it has gained an extra electron, there is going to be more negatively charged particle in chlorine. So जब भी कोई भी atom either gains electrons or loses electrons, then they are called as ions. So ions क्या है? Depending upon the type of charge they acquire, we name them as positive ions or negative ions. So sodium is actually a positive ion because it loses 1 electron, therefore has more number of positively charged particles. So it is going to be a positive ion. Talking about chlorine, since it gains an extra electron and acquires a negative charge, it has more number of negatively charged particles. Therefore, this chlorine will acquire a negative charge. So वापस टॉपिक पर आते हैं. यहाँ पर if we are dissolving hydrogen chloride or we can say hydrochloric acid in water, it will break, and then depending upon the fact that hydrogen carries positive charge and chlorine carries negative charge, will get H plus and Cl negative ions in water. Talking about bases, they have taken example of potassium hydroxide. So when this potassium hydroxide is dissolved in water, potassium will acquire 1 plus charge, whereas hydroxide ions are the ones which are going to acquire minus charge. So this was about what type of ions are there when acids as well as bases are dissolved in water. Moving on, now we are going to cover properties of acids and bases. So students, one by one सारी properties discuss करते हैं. The first property says that acids are sour in taste, but bases are bitter in taste. सो एक होने वाला है खट्टा और दूसरा होने वाला है कड़वा. मूविंग ऑन, acids conduct electricity when dissolved in water, but if we talk about bases, they conduct electricity when dissolved in water. So we can use both of them whenever we have to conduct electricity. Talking about what type of nature they will show, if we are using a litmus paper, so it is being said that acid will turn blue litmus paper red while base will turn red litmus paper blue. After this, we are going to cover some properties of dilute acids and dilute bases. So talking about dilute acids, decrease in hydronium ion, that is H3O plus ion, concentration per unit volume results in the formation of dilute acids. But if we talk about bases, there will be decrease in hydroxyl ion. Acids में there were reduction or decrease in hydronium ion. Here there is going to be decrease in hydroxyl ion concentration per unit volume results in the formation of dilute bases. So talking about dilute acids, reactions are going to be highly exothermic. Dilute bases, the reactions are going to be exothermic. So you should be thorough with the thing that what are exothermic and endothermic reactions. Students, if we talk about exothermic reactions, these are going to be those reactions where once the reaction is being completed, they will release energy to the surrounding. For example, explosions are a very good example of exothermic reaction. If we talk about endothermic reactions are basically those reactions where in order to complete their chemical reaction, for example, if we talk about photosynthesis or if we talk about decomposition of calcium carbonate, in case of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide gas combines with water only in the presence of sunlight, that is heat energy, in order to form glucose and oxygen gas. Talking about calcium carbonate, here calcium carbonate on receiving heat, that is thermal energy, it will decompose to give out calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. So with this I have explained you people about exothermic as well as endothermic reactions. Students, आप लोगों के लिए एक होमवर्क है that comment section में आपको at least 2 examples mention करने हैं of exothermic as well as endothermic reaction. Now let's talk about indicators. So for indicators, it has been said that these are substances that tell us that whether a substance is acidic or basic in nature by change in color, smell, etc. One very good example of indicator is litmus solution. So just now we have learned that if we talk about acids and bases, acids are going to be the one that will be converting blue litmus paper reddish in color, and bases are the ones that will be converting red litmus paper bluish in color. So this litmus paper or the litmus solution is going to be one very good example of indicator. Now talking about types of indicators, we have olfactory indicators, natural indicators and synthetic indicators. So here for olfactory indicators, it has been said that substances that changes its odor in acidic or basic media, because olfactory is all about smell. So those substances which will change their odor or smell in acidic or the basic medium would be called olfactory indicators. Talking about natural indicators, we have turmeric and litmus, which is obtained from lichen. Lastly, we are going to talk about synthetic indicators whose examples are methyl orange and phenolphthalein. So, let's talk about what type of color change will be there when these indicators are being used. So for that, they have basically shown a table where they have listed some indicators, and then the other three blocks are showing natural color, acids and bases. Like, how is their natural color? What will happen when acid comes in contact of these indicators, and what will happen when bases comes in contact of these indicators. So red litmus paper is obviously red in color. Like, naturally it is going to be red in color. So when it comes in contact with acid, it will remain red, but when it will come in contact with bases, it will turn blue. Talking about blue litmus paper, naturally it's obvious that it is going to be bluish in color. So it will turn acid red, but bases will still remain blue because nothing will change. Talking about phenolphthalein, it is colorless. Like, naturally it's actually colorless, but when it comes in contact with acids, it remains colorless, and if we talk about bases, it turns pink. Talking about the last type of indicator, which is methyl orange, natural color is reddish orange. So acids will remain red in color when they will come in contact of methyl orange, while bases will turn yellowish in color. So that's how we can make help of, or we can use these indicators whenever we have to figure out that this particular substance is acidic in nature or it's basic in nature. So let's just do litmus test. For that, we have litmus paper. So the first diagram shows that the litmus paper will turn red when it is dipped in acidic solution. While talking about the second diagram, it has been shown that the litmus paper will turn blue when it is dipped in alkaline solution. So red color indicates acidic solution, while blue color indicates basic solution. So this was all about indicators. After this, we are going to cover chemical properties of some acids. So one by one, we are going to see that what type of product is actually formed when these acids react with different substances. So we are going to start off with what will happen when an acid will react with a metal. So they have said that an acid when reacts or combines with metal, the product that we get is a salt and hydrogen gas. Best example of this could be, let's just take hydrochloric acid and react, like will allow it to react with zinc. So the salt would be zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. And as you can see in the slide, the reaction is like Zn plus 2HCl makes ZnCl2 plus H2. Moving on, if we talk about acid reacting with metal carbonate, it forms salt plus water plus carbon dioxide gas. So in place of acid, they have again used hydrochloric acid, and for metal carbonate, they have taken it as sodium carbonate. So 2HCl plus Na2O3 gives 2NaCl plus CO2 plus H2O. Moving on, let's just see that what type of product would be there if metal combines with, when acid combines with metal hydrogen carbonate. So the product is going to be a type of salt carbon dioxide gas will be there and water will be there. So we have HCl combining with metal hydrogen carbonate so that it could form sodium chloride plus carbon dioxide gas plus water. So we have HCl combining with NaHCO3 to form NaCl plus CO2 plus H2O. Lastly, we have our last reaction that shows what will happen when this acid will combine with a metal oxide. So, when acid combines with a metal oxide, we get salt and water. So, we have 2 HCl combining with calcium oxide, that means a metal oxide. So, the product would be calcium chloride and water. So, the reaction is 2 HCl plus CaO forms CaCl2 plus H2O. So, students, this was all about what type of chemical properties acid is going to show when it is going to react with metal, metal carbonate, metal hydrogen carbonate and metal oxide. Let's talk about chemical properties of bases as well. So, if we talk about chemical properties of bases, when bases react or combine with metal, they form salt plus hydrogen gas, just like acids. So here in place of base, they have used sodium hydroxide. So when this sodium hydroxide combines with zinc, the product that we get is sodium zincate, that is Na2ZnO2 plus H2. And lastly, when base combines with non-metallic oxides, the product is going to be salt and water. So in place of base, we have CaOH2. When this CaOH2 will combine with carbon dioxide gas, it will form calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3 and water, that is H2O. So with this, students, we have covered the chemical properties of acids as well as bases. From the next video onwards, we are going to start off with the topic of neutralization reaction. This is it for this video. I hope this video would have been helpful for you. In case you people have any doubts, please comment down below in the comment section so that we'll get this idea that where you people are having doubts, and we'll definitely try to repeat that topic one more time. So thank you so much. Bye.